Kia ora and welcome to Canterbury Live. It is Thursday the 21st of August. Well, I hope you've got a hot cup of tea or coffee. It is bitterly cold out there. We have a wonderful half-hour show to warm you up. Well, on today's show, I meet Daz Martin. Now, he joins me to discuss the World Press Photo Exhibition, and there's some gorgeous, gorgeous photos. And as you know, we have been following the history and researching about Miller's, that wonderful company, and today's no exception, so we find out a little bit more. Now, Sixth Sense, if I said that to you, you'd probably remember the movie, and you know, the little boy, and he goes, you know, I see dead people. It's actually a really good movie. But thankfully, Phyllis Brown will give us a little bit more information about what this really is about. Welcome, Phyllis. I can sense you're in a good mood.
I am. My sixth senses are on full alert.
I know. And do you love our Himalayan
love the crystal light?
Yes, so beautiful. It's just glowing there.
It is.
Actually, Jarvis was asking, who's our cameraman, he was going, where is it? And so I brought it back today.
Oh, nice, nice.
So, hey, Phyllis, let's talk about Sixth Sense.
Yes.
What is it?
Well, your sixth sense is a combination of lots of different aspects of yourself. So your sixth sense is that ESP, your extrasensory perception. And so we have a clairvoyant vision or clairaudient hearing, clear cognitive, so just streaming thoughts that pop into your head. And there's the clairsentient aspect. So the clairsentient aspect is where, you know, you get a feeling for things. You know, you maybe pop into somebody's home and it'll just be blissful. It feels yummy. But you might go into a church and or a spooky type building and it'll be, oh, I don't like it. It feels a bit off here. So your clairsentient is really working all of the time. And then your other senses all kick in. But in the general terms, we call it my sixth sense. But it is all of these clear senses together.
And is it that gut instinct?
It is
as well.
It is. Your gut instinct is your clairsentient. So that's when you get that sense of, well, something's not quite right. And then your claircognitive will sort of kick in. You go, well, what's not right? Why am I feeling that something's not quite right? So you'll just send your thoughts out and you might get an inkling. So for likes of myself, as an example, a friend of mine lived 174 miles away. And she was in, you know, the last stages of her cancer journey. And I would wake up in the morning and go, I just need to go and see her. So I would get in the car and drive a 174-mile round trip just to go and see her. And on the very last one, that's when I said to Michael, you have to come today. You have to come and see her today. This is the deal. So just that sense of knowing, and we can't quite figure out where it comes from. Even just with the phone call, I knew you were going to phone. You know, we all have that. I knew you were going to phone. Or, you know, I knew I should have turned left instead of right. Or, you know, some decision-making processes where you just suddenly go, I knew I should have done that. But we can override our sixth sense. The logical brain gets in and dissuades us from going with our gut instinct.
But does everyone have that ability though, Phyllis?
Everybody does. Everybody does. And intuitively, even a baby will know when it's in danger because it will change its cry. You know, an adult can develop their skills to any extent that they like. So it comes down to really a belief system. So if you have a belief system that you are tuned in, if you like, or you can feel things and see things, then you can develop those skills. And when I talk about developing those skills, it's becoming more aware of, well, what is clairsentient and what is clairvoyance and what is claircognitant. And once you get the concept of that, then you can just really start focusing on what your body, as a barometer, is telling you that may not necessarily belong to you, so you interpret those symbols or signs, and then that's when your skills develop.
Now let's talk about developing that ability, because you talked about that logic, how the logic creeps in.
It does.
And to go left, no, you go right.
Yeah. Yeah.
So do we just simply block it, or how does it work, or how can?
I think from an early age, I think as parents, you know, we can block our children's development because, you know, quite often, I know my son was very clairvoyant at a very young age. And so I would just get really intrigued when he would talk about things that he would see. So I didn't do the whole, oh, don't be so silly, there's nothing there. I would actually encourage him to speak about, well, what is it that you're seeing? So we can either shut that, suppress that down, and that does happen at an early stage. But what I find with a lot of my clients that, you know, come to my different development classes, they've always had a sense that they could see or feel things, not quite confident about what they were doing, so they can then keep developing those skills. So everybody has that aspect of their personality. It's who we are. We're energetic beings, and, you know, animals have a sixth sense, we have a sixth sense. Everybody has it, it's just how you develop it, or if you really believe you have that skill.
Can it be only good, or can it actually be a bad thing?
Well, it depends again on how you approach that. I enjoy tuning in to my sixth sense because it does guide me into some really unusual sets of circumstances, and I find them really funny. You know, I'll get to the end of a trail that I've been following, not quite knowing what the bigger picture is, and I go, oh, so that's what this is all about. So I really, really enjoy it. Some people find it quite overwhelming or a little bit fearful. So when they're overwhelmed by you know, voices in their head, let's say, if they can hear things. So we're talking about Whoopi Goldberg in the movie Ghost. And she's going, I don't want to hear it, I don't want to hear it. So it can get a little bit overwhelming. But, you know, you're always in control. You're always in control of your sixth sense. And you can always ask energy just to step back and give you a little bit of a breather.
Well, also, Phyllis, I'm very excited. We've got a couple of books to give away
have,
of yours.
yes.
So Psychic Development, Unlocking the Gift in Us All. Look at that. Well, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
For this. So all we need to do simply is call through to Marianne now on 03 3777 033. That's 03 3777 033. Thanks, Phyllis. I look forward in a couple of weeks' time seeing you.
Okay, take care.
Stay with us after the break. We're out with Millers.
Join Graham Sinclair and the team at Gone Fishing as they bring you great stories, fishing tips and beautiful scenery. Gone Fishing, Friday night at 8:30, right here on CTV.
Come on down to Ferrymead Golf. Care for a game of paintball? How about some swings on the old driving range? Or on our par 3 9-hole golf course? Test your skills on the mini golf course or have a go at the airgun shooting range. Then relax at the Wow Cafe with one of our super succulent Wow Burgers. Whether you want to perfect your swing or are looking for a fun family day out, come down to Ferrymead Golf, 50 Ferrymead Park Drive, right next to the Ferrymead Heritage Park.
Looking for that perfect gift for a loved one? Wanting to add some vibrance to your home, or just looking to brighten up your workplace? No matter the occasion, the Hitching Post has something for everyone. Lose yourself in their extensive range of homeware, art, glass and plasma cut metalwork. The Hitching Post is your one-stop shop for great style and quality. So come on down to the Hitching Post, 722 Marshland Road.
It's Blackwell's Holden Demolition Sale, with prices on selected demonstrators that'll blow you away. Cruise SRIV $31,990, Farina CDX $21,990, Captiva CX Diesel $39,990, Holden Spark $14,990, and Trax LTZ $31,990. The clock's ticking. These prices could blow any second. Call Blackwell's Holden Softburn today.
Get rid of that damaging and unsightly moss, mould and lichen from your path, drive or roof with Mossbuster. Mossbuster is a no-bleach, non-abrasive, biodegradable solution that has over 35 years of proven results. Mossbuster costs less than half the price of other well-known products and can be yours for less than $1 a litre. You just spray it on and let Mother Nature do the rest. Check out our website to find the best solution to your moss, mould and grime problem. Order online or call us now on 0800 88 1000.
In Good Shape, examining all aspects of healthcare, medicine, research, nutrition, fitness and beauty, with in-depth interviews from medical experts. It's all here on In Good Shape, Tuesday morning at 9:30 CTV.
Now today with our coverage of Millers, we're finding out about what happened after the sudden death of Leslie Miller. Reginald Miller succeeded him as the owner and manager of the company and made a lot of changes to save money. So we find out about that now.
In 1951, Millers established a second mill in the suburb of Aranui, which was registered as Millers Worsted and Woolen Mills Limited. Production began with 120 staff, mostly from the Aranui and New Brighton areas. It was a rocky start for the new facility, as there was a proportion of substandard material being produced by the mill, much of which couldn't be used in the clothing factory.
On inspecting the worsted mill, I found that things were not going very well, and the standard of merchandise coming out was not saleable. With the help of an English machine fitter, we worked through the mill and were able to reassemble a lot of the plant, and at the end of 6 months we had quality merchandise coming out that we could utilise in the garment factory.
In 1959 they lost the manager of the Rosedale Mill in Southland. Reginald managed the mill remotely from Christchurch, as well as managing the Aranui mill. In 1960, Mr. Leslie Beaumont Miller died suddenly. His son, Reginald Miller, succeeded him as the owner and manager of the company. His first order of business was amalgamating the Rosedale Woolen Mill in Invercargill and the Worsted and Woolen Mill in Christchurch.
The amalgamation of the two plants saved quite a lot in the way of staffing, and also technical know-how, and also the cost of bringing merchandise up from Invercargill, so it was a worthwhile move.
Miller then enlarged the Aranui mill by another 20,000 square feet to accommodate the amalgamation, increasing staff numbers to 200. This gave Miller more control over all aspects of the manufacturing and sales process. Miller's catchphrase was, "From the sheep's back to the customer's back." During the 1960s, Miller also negotiated a franchise with Melbourne-based company Wenzel's Design House to produce top fashion woolen products. Miller put many of Wenzel's designed fabrics into production. These fabrics sold exceptionally well to many fashion manufacturers throughout the country. The early 1970s saw big changes in the woolen industry with the closure of many mills, as synthetic fibre began largely replacing wool in the manufacture of clothing. Although Miller's mill was operating very profitably, the future for the industry did not look encouraging, with so much product coming in from countries with low labour costs, and so it was decided to close the mill in the early 1970s. In 1970, Miller made a move to relocate the manufacturing section from its Tuam Street location into the outer area of Christchurch, where labour would be more plentiful.
There was a major shortage of staff in the city centre, and we took the decision to see if we could get a property out at Wairaki Road, which we did, an area of about 6 acres, and getting some plans and ideas from a leading architect in Stockholm. We went ahead with the building of Wairaki Road, a building of 108,000 square feet. This gave us the opportunity of moving the clothing factory from Tuam Street out to Wairaki Road, where it was a lot easier to come by good staff.
1 year later, Miller opened the 108,000 square foot building, which was a circular design, the most modern of its time, and was labelled as revolutionary. The building had an elevated cafeteria and kitchen, providing large areas for staff dining and other activities. The factory specialised in worsted and wool or polyester cloths, and 1/3 of the fabrics that the factory produced were purchased by Miller's own clothing factory. The other 2/3 were sold to major New Zealand suit and trouser manufacturers. Government contracts and exporting garments were also done via the Wairaki Road factory, and exports to Australia accounted for 35% of the overall production capacity in 1971.
And we not only produced for our own retail stores, but also started to export a large number of garments to Australia. And one of our biggest customers was the Target stores.
In 1978, Millers sold the Tuam Street building to the Christchurch City Council, and in 1979 moved into the Cashel Street Cashfields complex, which was previously the DIC building. Next time, we complete our history of Millers and bring the story into the 21st century.
Isn't it great finding out the history? I didn't even realise that the City Council buildings, that it was actually Millers. Pretty cool. Talking about cool, after the break, we speak with Des Martin.
Kids television is right here on CTV. Tune in every Saturday from 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. for an exciting range of fantastic kids programming. Join in with all the fun Saturday mornings from 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. on CTV.
My son's helped me greatly with my independence now that I've got more mobility.
Mum, I've been looking into stand assist chairs from More Mobility. They recline back with a footrest, then when you want to get out of them, they stand you up. You can even sleep on them. More Mobility can bring one out for a free trial. There's even electric beds too. What do you think? For more range and more expert advice, see More Mobility, corner Clarence and Princess Streets off Blenheim Road.
What a difference more mobility makes.
Hi, I'm Steve and welcome to Carpet Kingdom. At Carpet Kingdom we stock a massive range of carpets and we're also the largest vinyl stockist in the South Island. And not only do we have an excellent range in store, but you can purchase our stock online. We offer free measuring quotes, we have our own installation team, we ship nationwide, so come on down and see us at Carpet Kingdom. 312 Wilsons Road in Waltham, just off Brougham Street, or visit us online at carpetkingdom.co.nz.
Warm yourself up with a delicious wintry meal at Hinton's Restaurant and Vineyard. Let the flavours of the country linger in your mouth long after your plates and glasses have been cleared. Enjoy an afternoon of comfort and class with great people. Hinton's Restaurant and Vineyard.
Join me, Jude Kirk, every weekday as I share with you some of the best shopping in Canterbury.
Well, he is looking windswept as he's just flown in from Wellington. Des Martin, welcome to Canterbury and Canterbury Live.
Well, thank you for having me.
Yeah, thanks for making the effort to come down for this interview. It's fantastic. So you're here to talk about, obviously, the World Press Photo Exhibition.
Yes, yeah, so it's a fantastic exhibition. It comes out of the Netherlands. The exhibition itself has actually been going for 57 years now and has become recognised as the world's leading, it's actually a contest. The contest itself is it's the world's leading photojournalism and press photography. So there's it's about 90,000 images get submitted every year. And,
frightening.
Yeah, and so a panel of experts from all around the world sort of judge them and they narrow it down to, it's about 130 images in the exhibition and they represent obviously the best of
the best.
The world's photography in terms of, yeah, press and photojournalism photography.
And we were just talking about there, and obviously as of late, it's a horrific story that came out today with one of the journalists, and the press, I mean the photographers are put into some pretty scary situations as well. When everyone else is fleeing, they stay, don't they?
Yeah, certainly, and I think the results speak for themselves. Just incredible images of things that you know we will never experience a lot of the time. Thankfully, we will never experience. But yeah, just it really does represent the full sweep of the human experience as well. I mean, obviously there are the images which are harder to view, the ones which come from war zones or things like that. But there is a full sweep of images as well. So you know, sports, nature, daily life photos as well. So it's easy to sort of focus on the negative, but there's plenty of positive stories in there as well.
Yeah, exactly. And so we can touch on a couple of them. Obviously not the whole stack of them, but let's start actually with the winning image. So the World Press Photo of the Year.
Yes.
And here it is here.
Yeah. So this is the image by John Stanmeyer, obviously selected by the judges as this year's winning image. And what it portrays is these are migrant workers standing on the shore of Djibouti city. So they've come from countries such as Eritrea. And they're standing on the beach trying to get a cell phone signal from Somalia, which is next door, obviously in order to get a hold of their family and their loved ones who obviously they've had to leave in order to find work. And so it's obviously it's a beautiful image, like just so well captured. But also the judges really loved this one because it's something that relates to all of us, that desire of, you know, being away from home, trying to get in contact with your loved ones. Yeah. You know, it's a very universal image and one that we all can relate to, as well as obviously highlighting a very sort of important issue in Africa with lots of migrant workers having to go abroad in order to find work to support their families.
Yeah, to support their families. And next up we've got the first prize spot for the new single. This is one of your favourites from Philippe Lopez of France.
Yes.
Now, let's talk, you were telling me about this, so let the viewers know the story behind this.
Yeah, so this is an image which I like to highlight for people visiting the exhibition because it's a prime example of a photo which is not all that it appears to be on first glance. Obviously with press photography, the really important thing is the story behind it. Unlike artistic photography, it's not really open to interpretation. The photo is to highlight a story. But however, with this image, the story behind it isn't what you think. It's in the wake of the typhoon in the Philippines. And obviously a lot of destruction, and I think there's around 8,000 deaths out of that typhoon across the country. However, in this image, which on first glance appears to be people sort of salvaging their belongings from the wreckage, it's actually a story of hope in which these women in the village that they are from, it's a small fishing village, there were no deaths in their village. So
Incredible.
Every week since the typhoon they've held a procession to pray and to thank God that there was no deaths in their village. So as I say, on surface level looks quite sad and depressing, but actually a story of hope and of...
And celebration,
And
really.
celebration, exactly.
Fantastic. And the last image we've got here is from the Netherlands. This is from Carla Kogelman, and it's set in Austria. So it's two sisters, I believe, is that right?
Yes, so this won first prize in the Observed Portraits section. And I personally just love this image because it's such a fantastic portrayal of just the innocence of childhood. And obviously at the opposite end of the scale to some of the other stories, it's just a beautiful image. Carla, the photographer, has been following these girls for several years and has kind of said as long as the family allows her to come and photograph the girls, she will continue to do so. And so this is actually from a series of images which just really highlight these two beautiful girls playing, and it's just very sweet and very touching to see that, that innocence of childhood.
And you don't have to overthink
joy.
a shot. I mean, it can just be capturing, just as you said, the innocence.
Yeah, exactly. And just so beautifully captured, obviously, in the moment with these two girls playing. So
fantastic. So how can we enjoy all these photos? Can you tell us about where they will be exhibited?
Yeah, so the exhibition's on at the University of Canterbury in the Central Library, the James Hype building. So it's been open for 2 weeks already. It's closing this Sunday, so it's just the last few days.
Great.
But it's completely open to the public. The library's open from 8 AM through to about 9 PM, apart from Saturdays, a little bit shorter. The weekends opens at 10. Saturdays close at 5, a bit later on Sundays. But it's just, come on in. There's no ticket admission. We're taking donations. It is ticketed in Auckland and Wellington. It's $10 each. But just for Canterbury, because it's the first time here. It's been coming to New Zealand for 13 years, but the first time in Christchurch.
Oh, yay, for Christchurch.
Yeah, it's been a bit of a long road getting it here. It was all quite sudden, but we were very pleased to be able to bring it.
Oh, thanks, Des.
And the opportunity just opened up, really, and so thanks to a bit of funding from the Canterbury Community Trust, as well as our two corporate sponsors, John Jones Steel and Spices Financial Services. They helped us out and we got it here. So we've wanted to make it as accessible as possible. So you can come on, we are collecting donations, but it is open for anyone to come along. So we really do encourage people, obviously, last few days, do come and see it just because it is such a stunning and moving exhibition.
Hey, thank you so much, Daz. Thanks for making an effort to fly down and see us today for this interview. And as Daz said, it is going until Sunday, so make an effort. What a great outing for your family. Find your favourite one. What a great thing to do. Good on you. Now, we're going to, tomorrow we are catching up with the Aotea Legalised Cannabis Party and Pat Dugan. Thank you. See you tomorrow.